Well, we've got some interesting days ahead of us here today. Of course, some of us dealing with the rain on top of cool temperatures and wind out there. So that's what we're talking about today. But tonight and into tomorrow, the cold air takes over and we've got that hard freeze possible with the first alert weather day for tomorrow. So a couple of tough situations depending on what you're dealing with here. And this afternoon, we're watching that radar closely in the southern end of the valley. It's been lifting northward as this is rotating around that area of low pressure. So let's take a closer look on our weather wall here. I also have our visible satellite layer turned on here too, so we can see where all of those clouds are. Where it's darker, that's where we're seeing more toward the surface. And so you can tell we've got more sunshine up along the international border, and in contrast we're dealing with just that unpleasant cold rain, and with the wind it's a driving rain too. So looking a little bit closer here, you can see Fargo-Moorhead right on the northern edge of this. We've had some pass by, some of these cells pass by really closely, but not quite making it into the metro in most instances. And it's more down into places like the Wahpeton-Breckenridge area, Fergus Falls, back over to Lisbon and Lidgerwood, Gwinner, Edgeley and Ellendale. I've seen a lot of this rain from time to time. It's scattered. And then there are some pockets where it's a little heavier, where we're seeing that having moved through the Wheaton and Sisseton areas too. So add this on top of, again, conditions that are really cool, and it's not fun to be outside. Temperatures are in the 40s and 30s in the Southern Valley. It's 37 in Jamestown, Valley City. Fargo's at 42, and we're into the mid 40s over to the south and east. So temperatures haven't gone anywhere in the Southern Valley. And in fact, in some instances, they've gone down a little bit. And in the Northern Valley, even cooler. We were down below freezing this morning. This is an area where temperatures have risen, thanks in part to some sunshine and dry conditions. Langdon's at 36, and so is Devil's Lake. Grand Forks checking in at 39. So wind out of the north or northeast, gusts into the 20s and some 30s at times too, heading into this afternoon. So a cloudy day for most and a windy day for most, and cool for everybody here today, regardless of whether we're seeing rain or not. But if you're south of I-94, Highway 10, that's where we're looking at the rain, and it could be adding up. We could get some of these heavier cells moving through, and potentially even in the southeast, where we've got a little more energy going on here. We may also get a couple of lightning strikes going on there. We did see one in eastern parts of Otter Tail County not too long ago. And on the other side of things, over on the colder side of this system, you see this little edge of blue and pink on the edge of the future radar here. That's where we may see a flake or two mix in. Temperatures are above freezing, so no concerns here about impacts. Ground is still very warm too this time of year, but it would be our first sign or view of a flake or two here this season. Now, heading into the afternoon, temperatures again not warming up. We stay in the 30s and 40s, and then this evening we see that rain start to move on. This is 10 o'clock tonight. Most of the rain is done at that point in time, and we start to clear things out. So let's move to tomorrow morning. Some partly cloudy skies across the region. Check out these temperatures. 20s, mid 20s in some instances, and maybe even colder than that in a couple of pockets. So hard freeze ahead of us for tomorrow. We'll have some partly cloudy conditions, and temperatures do climb, and we'll stay on the drier side tomorrow, but it's still looking rather cool. And we keep that going into the end of the week and the weekend. So some very chilly mornings. Be ready. If you've been able to protect your plants so far, tonight's going to be the toughest night. We're looking at the coldest temperatures of the season so far.
And we just went from being warm the beginning of the week.
I know.
So nice.
We were at 80 in a couple of locations, and here we are now.
Oh, back to being cold. Well, thank you, Lisa.